Okay, so over the past week, I've graduated college. I've packed up all my stuff and moved from Kansas to Florida on a 16-hour drive. I'll tell you what, I've learned more in this week than I have in any other week of my entire life. And I probably learned more in this week than I had in the last 3, 4, 5, 6 months, because it's insane how when you strip your life down to the bare necessities and you condense time, you put pressure on yourself to make stuff happen in a specific period of time that seems beyond your capabilities. It is insane how much of the external bullshit, I want to say, of the external bullshit just gets eliminated from your life just by osmosis. Any sort of anxiety, any sort of like fears or insecurities that I might have had are just completely gone, because I don't have the mental bandwidth. I don't have time to think about them. All I'm thinking about is the bare necessities. And when you think about life in general, life in its purest form is so simple. We only need a few things. We need money. We need like a source of income. We need a place to sleep, or, roof over our head, food, and that's about it. Everything else after that is, not a need. Obviously, there's things that you want and things that are going to enhance your life, improve your life. Like, you obviously want to be doing something that you love as much as you possibly can. You want to have a good support group, a good family, and all those things are things that enhance your life, but you don't really need them. And this is why I'm saying life is just so simple, but it's not always easy. If it was easy to attain the financial stability, having a roof over your head and all that stuff, the bare necessities, it is easy to some people, but if it was easy to everybody, then there wouldn't be anybody homeless. There wouldn't be anybody who was miserable day in and day out trying to make ends meet. And that is where I've been able to get a glimpse into that kind of mind frame, because I'd never had before. I never was able to truly see what life was all about at its core. It has just allowed me to see how brutal it can be out here, how tough it can be to even just get the bare necessities. And if you have those locked down, if you have a source of income, if you have a place to sleep, if you have food in your belly, you are blessed. Because honestly, I had been taking those things for granted. I had been taking my housing, my food, everything like that, the bare necessities, I've been taking them for granted. And I want to say that if you have those things secured, if you have that source of income, the financial stability, the food, the home, the place to sleep, you are blessed. You are so, so blessed. And I don't think people realize just how grateful you have to be for those things. Because if you have the basic necessities and you have the extra stuff that enhances your life, the people, the hobbies, the passions that you have that you're able to engage in every single day, you have to really just sit down sometimes and just think like, dude, I'm so lucky to have this. And honestly, even right now, when I don't have all these things taken care of and locked down and secure, like I don't have a perfect stable source of income, I don't have a long-term house, I don't even really have that much of the life enhancers, like the people and I guess that's really it. I have things that I love doing, and I have my health. I have those things, but it just, when you just really just wipe the slate clean, and it's just like that's all you're looking at. It's an experience that I've never had before, and I'm so glad that I've been able to experience it, and I've been able to look at life this way, because it's really changed my perspective on a lot of different things. And I think these lessons that I'm going to learn, and I've already learned, are lessons that I don't think many people ever really will learn, or at least they won't share them with people like I'm trying to do right now, because like the situation that I'm in right now is pretty unique, and you don't see people doing this a lot. You don't really see people, picking up everything and kind of just winging it with no plan. And I also want to say that I've experienced, I feel like, so many different emotions throughout this process, like emotions that I've really never felt before, or emotions that, I never would have expected to feel all in one day. And like, I'm not going to lie, there was a couple nights ago where I was just laying in my bed. I was like, what did I just do? Am I dumb? I was kind of freaking out. I was like, did I just fuck up? Did I just make a really dumb decision? Like, it kind of got to me because, I don't have anybody here. I don't have any sort of like stability in my life right now. And it kind of got to me, but I realized that if you can just accept the fact that life in general is pretty chaotic, and every single day that you wake up, every single time the sun rises, which is every single day, you have an opportunity to make stuff happen. You are literally never out of the game, you always have a chance to do something. There's never going to be a time where you wake up and there's nothing you can do to improve your situation. There's always going to be something you can do. There's always a series of decisions that you can make to get yourself out of any situation ever. And that's just a fact. Like there is right now, whatever situation you might be in, whether it's a good one or a bad one, there's never a doubt something you can do, a series of decisions that you can make to improve that certain situation. I feel like the anxiety that people have nowadays, we didn't really talk about that stuff ever before. Like before phones, before social media, and before, all this extra online stuff, this new type of anxiety that people are experiencing didn't really exist because it couldn't, because lots of your anxiety might come from your appearance or how you interact with people or anything like that. But when you just can't think about that stuff, when none of that matters at all, when how you look or how you speak or any of those little variables that you might get insecure over, when none of that matters, you just don't have time to be anxious. Like you just don't, because you can't afford to be. And I also want to say that this week that I've been here and kind of been out on my own it's felt like the longest week of my entire life. And it's not because I'm not having fun. I'll tell you why. It's because when you are living like almost day to day like I am, and all you are focused on is what you can do each and every day to move the needle forward and nothing else matters outside of that, you almost condense time, you almost compress time, because when you are basically just doing the same exact thing over and over again, you're kind of getting into this state where, I don't know, you're in a monotonous routine and nothing's changing throughout the day. Time will probably move faster for you because almost everything just gets blurred together. Every single day is the same. Nothing new or exciting happens. You're not actually facing or trying to solve new problems. That is why I felt like before I left, like every single week, like I would look at the calendar, like holy shit, a week has passed. Like it felt so different. And it's like this week that I've been here out and about by myself, it's felt like 3 weeks or 4 weeks. And that is just another interesting conclusion that I've came to, because there are lots of people out there that don't use these 24 hours how they could be or how they should be. And it's probably, I guess what I'm trying to say is that if you have to get something done in an hour and you don't have another choice, like you just have to get this one thing done in an hour and there's literally nothing you can do. Like if you don't get it done, you're screwed, whatever. That hour, you're going to get more done in that single hour than most people who are living very comfortable and predictable lifestyles. You're going to get more done in that hour than they would probably in the entire day. And this is why I'm saying you can literally compress time and condense time if you want to, because the amount of stuff you can truly get done in a specific time frame, you will never truly know until you force yourself to do so. Because when I was living at home and living a pretty comfortable lifestyle with no sort of outside pressure actually pushing me to get things done, I don't think I was as productive as I could have been. I was not. It was not even close, because I would tell myself that I need to do these things, to do certain things, but deep down I knew that there was nothing outside of myself pushing me to do those things, no outside pressure, no other reason to do those things besides the fact that I told myself I need to do them. I hope that makes sense. But I'm sorry, I might be repeating this, but when you put pressure on yourself, when you introduce tactical stress into your life, you place stress on yourself on purpose, that is where the most growth and the most productivity comes, because your body is going to respond to that stress and to that pressure by just juicing out every ounce of your mental and physical capabilities as it possibly can. It's just, your body is so smart. Your body is much smarter. Your body and your mind are just so smart. The human organism in general is genius. And I truly believe now, there's nothing that you can't do if you put yourself under circumstances where you have to do it. You just have to. And another thing that I want to mention that I never really thought about before I actually went on this journey was the fact that the amount of social freedom that I have right now is actually insane. And what I mean by social freedom is the fact that I can walk around this place in this area and talk to basically anybody, which is what I've been doing. And I have no fear of embarrassment. Like there's nothing in me that's like, should I go up and talk to this person? Like whatever. I'm not thinking about any of that, because first of all, nobody knows who I am here. I mean, that's a big one, but also it's like, if I want to talk to somebody, I'm just going to go do it. Like there's nothing that's stopping me from doing things now because I'm operating in a state of just action. I'm not thinking too much about the things that I'm doing. I am, but I'm not overthinking things. That's the best part, is that I have the confidence in the, I guess a better way to put it would be like, I've already taken a massive risk by doing this in general and moving out and with really no plan, no idea really what I'm doing. So every other little risk that I've been able to take, it seems like nothing. It is nothing in comparison. Like this, I mean, lots of people might look at, approaching a stranger on the street as a risk, risking embarrassment, or maybe approaching a girl, whatever. It's like, those are all such small risks that I don't even, I don't consider them risks now, because I've already taken a big, massive risk. And so everything else in comparison is much, much smaller and much more insignificant. I think if you really want to reduce your fear of doing anything, or whether it's talking to people or just doing something that's outside of your comfort zone, all you really need is one big risk, and then everything else is just so much less scary. If you can prove to yourself that you can go forward with one big risk, whatever that might look like. It might not look like what I'm doing, but anything. Everything else after that just seems to be it's so much easier. You're not overthinking about how you look or how you speak, or what if I get rejected, or what if this person doesn't like me, because it doesn't phase you anymore. It has not been able to phase me, and that is like, I feel like I've been able to almost supercharge my personal development in this week. If you want to make a massive change, if you want to transform yourself into somebody that you never thought you could have been, you might have to introduce a massive change in your own life. You might have to throw yourself into some sort of fire, which I don't know how that will look, but most people, including myself, won't change unless they absolutely have to. Because again, humans are wired to be in homeostasis. And if your environment, your current situation is too comfortable, and you have all your basic needs met, and you have the things that you need, there's really going to be no reason for you to try and escape that, because you're balanced, you're perfectly comfortable. There's nothing that your body thinks that needs to change. And so I've always kind of intuitively known that, but now that I'm actually out here and I'm actually in that situation, it's become very, very apparent. It's like I've thrown myself out of homeostasis, and now my body and my mind are doing everything they can to get back in it. And people underestimate the power of just introducing a new environment and a new state of living. It's so powerful. And honestly, over the last 6 months or so, while I was living at home, if I was under the pressure that I am now, I truly believe with every single fiber of my being that I could have built a 6-figure business in that time. But because I wasn't under that pressure, my body was just very, very comfortable and very used to homeostasis. There was no need for me to actually go do that. Even though of course I wanted to, I didn't actually feel like I had to go do that, because I was perfectly balanced and perfectly comfortable. And now all I'm thinking about, literally all I'm thinking about now, is ways to make money, ways to kind of just make stuff happen. And I wouldn't have ever been able to be in that state of mind if I didn't put myself in this environment. Either way, I know for a fact, I've always known this, I'm going to build a business. I want to be an entrepreneur. And I feel like I've been finding all these different ways to almost cope with that. And I feel like I've had a pretty bad mindset around money for some reason. I feel like since I've always seen people building businesses and having businesses on social media, I've always seen it as scammy or evil, but it's not. It's just people making other people's lives better in exchange for money. That's really all business is, business and money. So actually, let me just say this quote that I remember just now. Money is made when value is created, and value is created when pain is alleviated. And really, that's all business is. Business and making money in general is just alleviating pain from somebody's life, and in return they give you money. That's all it is. I don't know why I've always seen business and making money as just this some scammy evil thing, when it's not. Obviously there are lots of people out there who make money in very questionable ways, but I feel like for the longest time I was just coping. I was just giving myself excuses as for why I shouldn't go out and try and do something like that, which is just dumb. And now it's now that I'm kind of at this crossroads where it's either go work some brain dead, soulless job, or build a business as fast as I can and make it good and make it very, very helpful to other people's lives. That is where I'm at. And I'm I really don't want to go work some brainless, soulless job, but now that is actually the thing that's in the back of my mind that's making me work so much harder on building a business, which I'm kind of starting to do behind the scenes. And I've kind of come to terms with the fact that like, that's not evil. I'm not evil. I'm not scammy. If I'm trying to build a business, there's nothing wrong with that. And I would encourage everybody else who's watching this, if you want to build a business, go do it. There's nothing evil about making money. You have to make money to survive. That's a fact. You need money to, I mean, I guess it's not a fact, but like you need to have a source of income if you want to live any sort of good life. That's kind of how it is. And it's not evil. If you can provide a solution to somebody's problems and help them improve their lives and make money doing it, that's the best thing in the world. There's nothing better than that. But overall, this has been the most enlightening, fast-paced week of my entire life. And I'm just grateful that I get to come back on here and share these lessons with you, because these are things that I would not have been able to learn from a book or a podcast. They're really just things that I have been able to learn through experience, and that's the only way I could have learned them. And I imagine that's going to be a theme going forward. But I just want to remind you that if you have all of your basic needs and your bare necessities taken care of, and even if you don't, be grateful for where you are in life, because you're doing a lot better than you might think you are, and you're doing a lot better than the average person. I just want you to make sure that you tell your family that you love them, you tell your friends that you love them, and you make it a mission that whatever life you want to live, whatever your dream life may be, that you have every right, every reason to go pursue that, and you should not stop at anything less. And so, yeah, that's really all I have to say for now, but I appreciate you a lot. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to leave any thoughts or comments in the comments below, but until next time, peace out.